When we say to someone, what are your thoughts? I don't know. Okay, I'll move on. I don't know is a good start, but they may know but not feel safe in mentioning. And it's a lovely thing where you can go back and say, okay, please have a think. I'll be back to you in a moment. What does that do? It creates a loop of I'm being given time and space to think. It creates a loop of there's a social obligation here. I might need to think. He or she is going to come back to me. But when you do go back, if it's what's 9 times 9 and they don't know it, it's okay, well, thank you for thinking about it. I say, okay, who knows this? And then move on. Create the loop of, I'll be back to you within a couple of minutes, I'll be back to you. Please have a good think. Because children, like adults, often, not always, but often when they stop talking, they're just about to start thinking. And it's having that space between the stimulus and response. Teachers ask me a question, got to answer. Teachers ask me a question, but they're giving me, they're kind enough to give me that space. Now, you can't let a lesson go on for 48 hours. There is a time to see, they don't know this, we'll get someone that does, and they'll learn. But what do you do then? You teach your students that there's a changing in permission, there's a changing in the obligations for them to engage in learning as well as you to participate in teaching. Because attending school might be viewed as compulsory, but engaging in learning is purely voluntary. However much a parent, however much you would love to get everyone getting their A stars and everyone engaged and everyone happy, everyone else, giving everyone else a helping hand, you can't control that. It's beyond your control. But what you can do is create an environment on top of what you do already where a child thinks, I want to engage in this, not just intellectually, but emotionally. I feel safe with this. This could be really intriguing. Wow. Thank you for that. The thing is about prejudice, we're always right, aren't we? Because we're prejudged. Our ego doesn't want to be wrong. But isn't it strange where we see some names on a register and go, oh, they've had 2 children here in the last 6 years. Fantastic. Lovely family. Very much involved in the community. Fantastic. And our brain goes, I'm keeping score. They've got a tick already. And they tend to live up to our expectations. And sometimes, not always, we see a name on a register or hear a name or hear a story and go, oh, that's them, is it? Okay. I'll just watch myself there. And generally they tend to live down to our very low expectations. At least in our hearts and our brains, because we don't want to be wrong. But isn't it lovely where we understand if there is an issue, if there is a challenge, if there is a history, but start from today. Reset the permission, reset the standard, reset the transparency that they feel may be missing, even if it wasn't from the school's perspective. Mr. Thompson, welcome to the school. Could you please help me understand what's most valuable to you in your child's education? What? I just send them here and go. I pick them up at 3:30, and if I'm 10 minutes late, it's a bit of cheap babysitting. No. I'd like to really understand what you'd expect from me as your child's teacher this term. What are the 2 things that are most important to you? Well, really, I've never thought about that. Well, please have a think, and can we discuss it later this week? You reset the permission, you reset the standard, and you start to develop trust. Not for the organisation and its competence, but for you and your personal character and desire to help their family.